Hey guys, this is Mario Kart. I want to do a video showing you guys how to get textures from PCSX2. That's the PS2 emulator. Get textures from Xenosaga2 and Xenosaga3. I don't know if you guys seen the last video on Xenosaga, but basically 2 weeks ago I released a script on how to import the geometry from a Xenosaga 3 character file. Previously, years back, we tried to get geometry, but we had problems getting the faces and the texture coordinates. That a couple weeks ago I figured it out, and I posted up my findings on NTags and stuff and put up the video. But the problem was getting the textures extracted. We were looking for a converter and possibly someone to convert, not convert, but actually write up a script for Gnosis or a plugin for Gnosis to allow that model viewer to open up the files. Yeah, going on a second week now, nearly a month, and it doesn't really look like anyone's interested in it besides myself. So I'm just going to go off what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm going to be in the process of updating the script. Right now, the script that I did post up 2 weeks ago in that video is just a quick put together. It's sloppy code. Basically, I tossed it together in 20 minutes after I figured out the format. And yeah, I have to work out the bones in the skidding, and then that's going to be that. The textures, I'm not sure I can convert them. I was looking at it for a long time, and there's just too many formats going on inside the same file. So I'm not going to really do anything with it. So yeah, this video I'm just going to show you guys how to use the emulator and dump textures from the game that way. Okay, it's not terribly too bad, and it won't take too long. Okay, but keep in mind, eventually I will add support for bones and skin weights, and for support for Xenosaga 1. Right now this works on Xenosaga 3, and by chance also works on Xenosaga 2. So sorry. Okay, so let's get started. My throat. Okay, yeah, let's get started. We're using the PS2 emulator. This is an old version. This is PCSX2 0.94. There's a new version, 9.8, but unfortunately it doesn't work with 9.8. So the only version I can get working is the old 9.4. Problem with that is it's very slow. Okay, so I'm going to package up and zip this up and send it to you guys with this video. Okay, you should be able to download this, unpack it, everything should be configured for you, and it should have some save states in there. And then all you have to do is hit F3 in the emulator, and then it'll load up that save state, and you'll be able to load up to a position in the file, which is where I'm going to be showing you in the video right now. Okay, so don't worry. Right, so everything's going to be included. We're first going to start off with the dumper program. Usually I would use 3D Ripper for dumping pretty much anything, because it's a very simple, comprehensive program. But the problem there is it's not very good for this situation. So I'm going to be using a different program. This is a Chinese program, okay? When I send this to you, actually, I'm going to exclude the other part of the program. There's two executables in here, and one of these my antivirus kept flagging, but I'm not going to include that program. This is just going to be the debugger. There's another one that actually it's like the communicative program, which converts your model to different formats. So I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to show you guys the debugger. Anyway, let's boot the debugger. Okay, so this is a Chinese program. This website's long gone. The Chinese guy, I used to have used to have him on my MSN, but he's since disappeared. But he made a really good program here. Okay, so anyway, where you want to go is this first tab here, and this is your capturing window. It's very similar to 3D Ripper. Okay, if you recall, you just grab executable and you get your capture keys and you hit launch. Okay, right, same thing. So first thing you would do is you would open up PCSX2 in here, and then it'll be able to lock on, and then you have your capture keys. Up is actually to toggle wireframe mode, okay, and down is to initiate a capture. Alright, this is that simple. Of course, I can't read anything else, so well, I can't read Chinese, so I have no clue what the rest of the stuff here does. So feel free to explore, but anyway, that's all you need to do, and then hit the launch button. Alright, this one's closed, this one's launch. Alright, so this is launching up PCSX2. Okay, for some reason it just gave me a random error, but anyway, here's the emulator. As I said, I'm going to send you guys the emulator as is, so all of the configurations should be there, but the configurations I'm using are just as I got them. The only thing I changed when I got it was that I changed it to an ISO plugin, and then I changed my resolution up from native to like 1000 and something, just so my screen doesn't look like poop. Okay, anyway, so that's that, and then I can just run the emulator now. And this is actually fixed on the Xenosaga2 ISO. Okay, so yeah, this is the beginning of the menu here. If I press up on my keyboard, that initiates the wireframe toggle. Okay, so the program is active, and if I hit down, it'll dump the textures. Okay, but like I said, I want to load to a specific part in the game. So I've already walked to the part in the beginning of the game where it's just before a cinematic. So I'm gonna press F3 to load that game state, or save state. Sorry. Oops. F3. All right. So this is a cinematic, right before cinematic. So if I walk into this other screen here, it's going to initiate a cinematic, and in this cinematic we have 3 characters walking across a bridge here. This character here is Chaos. The middle here guy is Jin, and actually the last guy there was Kanan. Alright. What we're going to do is use Cheat Engine to change the character names so we can swap out the characters with a different character. So that's pretty cool. So to do that, Cheat Engine, when you first open it, you want to hit the process button, well, the process list, I guess, and you want to open up on PCSX2, the emulator you're running. Okay. Okay. So at first it'll be on 4 bytes. Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come over here and change it to text. All right. And you don't have to touch anything else. It's okay like that. And just type in chaos 01. That's how I found the list. So scan. I'm gonna right click on the first thing here and go to browse. And right here is the character list. Alright. The only thing I can't do is change the directory path. So right now I can only load a character that's in the PC folder. Okay. But anyway, this is the Xenosaga2 disk after I dumped it. Okay. I'm not going to cover the dumping just because it's kind of a long process, because you have to combine all these parts and you have to run this thing on it. But anyway, after you dump it, these are the files you'll get. This is off the disk. Okay. In the model folder and under the PC folder here are the characters, the playable characters. So I can change Chaos's name to anything else and it'll load up. Okay, but the interesting part is Kanan there, he's actually in the MPC folder, so I can actually load anyone in the MPC folder, like for instance Voyager. So let's replay that cinematic. So I'm going to press F3 to reset back to my save state there. So like I said, there's Chaos on the screen, Jin, and the other dude. So it's going to be Jin 1, he's there. Chaos 1, he's there. And Kanan, he's there. Okay. So since Kanan is the NPC folder, I can change him to Voyager. Okay. But these 2 other characters are actually in a different folder, so I have to change them to, well, I can change them to anything in the PC folder. So Let's go with Momo. Oops, wrong button there. Okay, so just to demonstrate, I'm going to pop over to the other side. Okay, so as it's going along, you can see the characters are different now. It's no longer Chaos, Jin, or the other guy, Kanan. So based on what we put here, it's now changed the memory, and actually, as we go into a cinematic, it loads in different characters. So this is the method I use to display the different textures on the screen. Okay, I'm sure. Well, I do eventually want to try and get the objects, but I'll try to figure it out later. But anyway, this is how I've been getting the characters. I posted up a few characters on the godsibb forum here, which is here. Yes. So yeah, I already ripped Cosmos's character models and Shion's. Just want to load. This website sucks after night. Alright. Yeah, here's Cosmos. So I ripped all her models. That was pretty cool. Okay. Anyway, let's go back here. So I'm just going to quickly show you the principle, well, not the principle, but what we're going to be doing in 3ds Max after we can get textures of a certain character model. So let's just load up a character or rip a certain character or whatever. So let's. I already got Momo going in there, and let's see. Cosmos ready. Did Shion? I hate the junior guy. So let's do a NPC character then. This should have 2. Oh, it's here. Anyway, when you capture your textures, make sure that your character is fully on the screen, like this. Reason being, if part of the character is not displayed on the screen, it won't dump the textures. So right now, I'm just tapping the down key, which is the capture key. And if I scroll over here, you can see that the textures are probably dumping. Okay, it makes a screen dump. So anyway, I'm gonna switch this into detail mode. I'm gonna sort by size. We have to wait until you see 2 MB captures in there, okay? Because the rest of the captures are just screen caps. Okay, so just keep tapping this until it freezes, and that'll be indicate. Oh shoot! It froze on the wrong character. Come on. That was kind of rad. Why did it? Why did it? Alright, finally it froze. Okay. Scroll down here. And there's my 2 MB captures. Yay. They're still coming in. Okay, so let's exit the emulator. Okay, here's our textures. I'm just going to cut all the textures here. Alright. Okay. Okay, what is the heck, man? Obviously, cut and paste doesn't work on my machine anymore. Haha. Alright. What was up with this? I can't even move the files. Alright, let's do it this way. Goodbye. So yeah, wow, it was a gigabyte I just deleted. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, these are the textures. If I switch it into thumbnail view, you'll see the textures are actually kind of arrayed. Well, I call them an array, but actually the texture is drawn in a little corner of the texture itself, but it's repeated so many amount of times. So just scroll through these. You can see for the face, for example, it's repeated so many times. I think this is just how the game kind of stores its textures, and actually the UVs are actually kind of made for this kind of setup. So yeah. Anyway, so I'm just looking for the start of my textures. I have no clue which ones the ones I want, but this looks pretty similar to where I want to be. Yeah, that looks good. I just know probably from experience, but starting here, this is Jin Uzuki, and this is his suit. Okay, this is the sheath of his sword, and this is part of his leg, his hands, and that switches into that Yuri girl. Okay, that's her face, and then it goes to her eyes. Looks like her arms, her hands. Looks like her shirt, her skirt. Looks like the back of her shirt. Shoes. We got eyelash, hair. I have no clue what that is. And then now you're getting into textures which are different. So this looks like a background logo or something like that. Alright. So again, that's just experience, but whoa. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete what I know that I don't want, so I'm not assigning a bunch of random stuff. Okay, so let's see what the first one is. Anyway, what you should do first is kind of experiment and dump maybe Jin, and then you can kind of understand what kind of textures he uses and stuff like that. Anyway, this is Jin. So everything before Jin seems to look like garbage. I say that because if you click on this, it's like a background texture. It doesn't even look like a character texture or anything. So that's probably old junk. This is Jin. This is the start of that Yuri girl. So I'm just going to delete this stuff. It's just fine with that Yuri girl stuff's ending, so that's probably where it ended. Okay. Okay, so I'm pretty confident that these textures are within range of her textures here. Okay, basically the Xenosaga texture file we can't decode or convert, but that file is getting decoded in the PS2 emulator. But it's that file seems to be in order of the objects. So, say in the file-wise on Xenosaga2 or Xenosaga3, whatnot, texture 1 will go to object 1, texture 2 will go to object 2, etc. like that. So it's kind of in order. I believe the word I'm looking for is chronological order. But anyway, that file, that texture file, is in order with the object files, or the mesh files. So when it loads into memory, it's loading in the memory in order. When we rip it from memory, it's ripping or dumping from memory in order. So that's why I use this program over 3D Ripper DX, because you can see it ripped from memory in the incremental number. So 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. Unlike 3D Ripper DX, it'll actually dump the files, but name them in hexadecimal. Okay, and it'll give you the hexadecimal address of where it found it in memory. The problem with that is that Windows does not really sort character names very well in hexadecimal. So with this system here, it'll sort from highest to lowest. Okay, using Windows sorting. So sort by name. So that gives me that that range. Like I can quickly grab a range of character textures. It's very easy for me. Okay. Anyway, so now we have that. We can import the model and the textures. So where's that PC folder? All right. Okay, so let's go here. I got the two scripts installed to my 3ds Max 8. So I'm going to import the models. Okay, just a reminder, I will eventually update the script. Okay, right now the script just imports meshes and doesn't do bones and stuff, but I'm pretty sure I can do the bones and the weights, so I'll see about doing it this weekend. Alright, so that's what's your face. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, so next we need to add the materials, okay? You can see the objects go from lowest to highest, 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 13, right? Okay. Roughly our texture is going to be the same count, if not the same. So this is 14 items, okay? Maybe one item we don't need, like for example this, so everything should pretty much line up. On a more complex model, there will be a mismatch between the object number and the texture number, but usually that means a texture goes to multiple objects or something like that. So maybe, for example, one texture could be the right hand, but it could be shared to the left hand as well. So that's when you get your texture difference between your texture count different from your object count. It's still not very hard to assign. Anyway, I made another script called mats. So if I enter my my material editor, which by the way, if you're wondering, the button is over here. Okay. Poof. Okay, so yeah, lost my thought. Okay, yeah, so the script here called mats, it's gonna allow you to open up a texture file. So that dump folder I have here. Oh, by the way, shoot. The textures are actually kind of, the colors are inverted. Like this is blue and stuff like that. Okay, I forgot. You have to fix these textures before you actually use them, because they're the wrong color channels. I wrote up a program. I put it somewhere. Alright, so here's the program I wrote. This is actually the first C program I wrote. I still have to ask one of my buddies to look at the source code, because it keeps crashing on the files, but it seems to process the files okay. It seems to be safe, but it does crash for some reason. Anyway, I did ask Crocs there to make a BMS, so I'll also include the BMS. So you have the option of using BMS, or you could use the executable. Doesn't matter. And at first, actually, I made a MaxScript, but it's extremely slow. I'll include all of this with you with the package I'll upload to you guys. Anyway, I'm just gonna copy these two files. Basically, it's a DOS command line application along with a bat script, so it's gonna process all the textures. Okay, so let's just get rid of that. Okay, so sorry, let's go back. So in MaxScript here, I'm just going to open up a texture. So I'm just going to go to my path here. Okay, so you can open up any file, but the first file open up, it's going to search for the same extension. So that file opened up had DDS, so it's going to open up any other files that say DDS. Okay, so anyway, it's now loaded all those textures into a unique material on its own. So what I can do now is just drag and drop. like that, drag and drop, drag and drop. So it's very simple for me. Okay, so I don't have to go between the folders. Like usually the old way, you'd have to kind of go like this. It doesn't even work actually. Anyway, so yeah, it's yeah, this is easy to do it like this. Okay. Anyway, one way to do it, you could just highlight the entire mesh and then drag and drop, and then it'll ask you if you want to assign to your selection, and it'll assign to your selection. Okay. Another way is to keep in mind that these are in order. So look at this ID. This is ID 1. Okay. So if I go to my oops, I wrote in there. Sorry. Let's go to the object list. Object 1. It happens to be the face. Okay. So object 1 is the face. Okay. Simple. Okay. Alright, let's just hide that. Actually, hide. Let's go to object 2. Object 2 is eyelashes. Or actually, they were eyes. Haha, interesting. Okay. Object 3, which is this arm thingy. 4. So we'll take ID 4. Those are hands. We got object 5. So yeah, you get the idea. It's very simple. Okay, on a complex model, it might be a little bit more clustered. Okay, because it could be shared, but otherwise, it's pretty simple. So I don't have this automatically assigned because, like I said, there could be a mismatch. Like you could have like 10 textures but 20 objects in your scene. So that's why you have to do it manually, kind of user manually yourself. But not too bad. I've seen one model that's like 100 or more textures, so that would be bad. But character models don't seem to have that too many. Besides, I noticed in Xenosaga2&3, one of Cosmos's model actually has 100. It's quite a bit. What object was that? Object 12. Okay, looks like the last two textures, 13 and 14, are not used. Let me just double check here. Yeah, those don't really look like they do anything. Okay, the last texture there looks like it was shared between two objects of the hair. But anyway, that's the model. If you highlight all the objects, you can add a edit mesh modifier. Okay, you can just weld it, weld, and replace the smoothing with just 1. Okay, now smooth your model out. Okay, because I'm using Max 8, the normals do not import. Okay, if I use something, for example, like 3ds Max 2011, the normals will actually import. So, for example, look at Momo here. You don't see her mesh being all stripified and detached like that, right? But in fact, she actually rather is. Okay, so I don't know if you saw that blink. It's hard to get it to kick on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Just add a skin modifier, actually. That'll work. Yeah, okay. It's just the way 3ds Max works. It naturally never actually supported normals, but in the earlier versions, the recent versions, they've just recently started adding normal support, because I think people are starting to notice that, like, your normals are not there. Like, what the hell? what the hell, 3ds Max? What the hell? You're like a friggin' $30,000 program or something, and you can't even control normals. Anyway, so yeah, these different modifiers here are different things you can do to your mesh. Okay, it just happens that most of these will kill your normals. So for instance, the skin modifier will kill your normals. Okay, so anyway, once I do add support for skin weights, I have to add a skin modifier, and what's going to happen? You're not going to have normals, and your mesh is going to look like this. Okay, but you notice when we imported this girl in the 3ds Max 8, it did not have any normal support. Same thing with this, only it's kind of dummified. It's actually in here initially, but as soon as you do anything to it, it's going to remove. Okay, so yeah, so you can get a greater idea if I select everything here, but just see if I can or not. So yeah, you can see that's what the model would look like without the vertex normals, fortunately. Okay, so anyway, if you're using Max 11, yay for you. Otherwise, like Max 8, you're gonna be losing your normals there. Anyway, that's that was just a heads up. So that's how you get a character model. It was more complex than others, but yeah. Okay, Xenosaga2&3. What's the time of my video right now? Okay, I'm just gonna quickly show you guys Xenosaga2&3. It's the same process, but slightly more easier with cheat engine and stuff like that. So again, let's just launch that program there. Debugger. Okay, launch this. Oops. Yeah, I almost forgot. Okay, so we have to change the ISO. Okay, so I'm just going to press F3. This will load me into the character thingy. Alright. I was gonna say, yeah. So up does the wireframe thing. You can't really see it, but it is. So yeah, whatever. So I usually use the character Abel or Abel. Anyway, I use him as a reference point. So again, I'm just gonna do a new scan here. I'm gonna search for his name, which is it's actually C3. Abel. I think it's 00. Okay, first scan. Oops. Okay, you have to rehook it onto PCSX2. You want to keep your code list? No. Alright, so first scan. Bing. So if I right click on the browse, here's the list, okay, similar to X2, okay. Only in this one we can also change the directory. So just to show you guys that, we're first going to add in this one. So we're going to target Abel. Scroll down, and this is the directory path which you can change, which is nice. Okay, so now with this directory path we can browse the entire Xenosaga2 disk, which is a benefit over the X2 setup. So let me just find the folder here. Yeah, and the characters are in MDL, car, and PC. Alright, so we can go to any folder. So just to show, I'm going to go to the CT folder. Okay. So let's go here. Okay, don't forget that slash at the end. Okay, and whatever character's in here. Huh, re-kid? Does that mean for retarded or something? Okay, anyway, let's just load one of these characters. Who's Yukon? So if I go back to the main menu, we enter Abel. Oh, it's that cat guy. Oops. Ah. There. So yeah, that's the cat guy. Okay. So yeah, the animations are actually going to be kind of messed up because they're actually using Abel's animations, which is kind of weird. It's like animating things. Anyway, so yeah. you dump your textures again and do the exact same thing I just showed you with X2. Okay, but with this one, it's a lot more flexible, because we can browse the entire directory system here. So I can even go to the map files and stuff like that, which they actually don't have too many, but they're on here somewhere. Yeah, you can go here and stuff. Okay. One thing I did do in my spare time was I took screenshots of the X3 characters. Okay, so here are all the characters. I didn't do all the objects because there's just too many of them. But here's a few, for example. Okay, so you can just browse through here. In the image, you can see the full path and the actual file name. So you can use this data to replace this data to find specific objects or models you're looking for. So this is a nice change. It's quick for you to find an object you're looking for of interest, and you can just attack it, rip it,